Story time about my love-hate relationship with my first client. I was with this client for almost 7 years. I started working for her back in 2012 at nung time na yun, I never thought of working from home as a business. I always thought about it as an employment. So that's how it started. I was very young, very demure, very cutesy. Ang starting rate ko sa kanya was $3 an hour. For me, that was a very big rate na at that time, given that in my work as a customer support rep sa mga call centers, I was only earning around 14,000 pesos or 13,000 pesos per month. And then sa kanya, with that rate, it gave me more or less 20K. So napakalaking talon na niya sa usual na rate na tinatanggap ko. The training was not the usual training na na-experience natin sa call center, wherein it's very planned, as most work-from-home jobs are. At nung time na yon, ang binigay niya lang were a few sets of video tutorials on how I can use the platform and how I can do the job, take calls, and then nag-start na ako mag-work. The product was a fertility pill for women, so ang mga customers namin na tumatawag are either trying to get pregnant or trying to get their cycles corrected, or meron silang mga fertility issues that they are hoping to get resolved by purchasing the pills that we have. It was a very upfront job, a very customer support, call center-ish job lang din na sa work from home lang ang setup. After a year of working with her, I requested for my performance to be evaluated for a potential increase, and she did give me an increase of $1 per hour. So from $3, I had an increase of $4 an hour na rate. And this was back in 2013. So if you can imagine, at that time, medyo malaking tulong na ang sahod na ito. But then a few months later, 4 months after, meron akong katrabaho na umalis na sa kanya because we thought that the medyo passive-aggressive kasi siya. So we thought of the job as very toxic dahil nagagalit nga yung mga customers. We thought that the website was kind of deceiving the customers to be able to earn more. So those are among the things that really caused us to want to leave the job. And kawawa din yung mga those that are trying to get pregnant, and they minsan umiyak sila because they thought that we are being deceptive. Pero there are fine prints here and there that companies always do and companies always put up. But it was draining. So nakaalis yung katrabaho ko, and then she invited me to apply to that job as well. And I got accepted sa position na yon na in-applyan ko rin. And so after a month and a half, I filed my resignation with this boss. I was a year and a half with her at this time, so she requested that I reevaluate my decision and offered a $6 increase or $2 additional increase. So if I accepted that and stayed with the company, I would then have $6 an hour rate. This is back in 2013. So at that time, malaki na yung $6 an hour. So eventually I stayed because, the fear of not being able to get a job right away or magka-problema sa training sa current client, and then yung mga what ifs when you are a breadwinner. So I stayed with her, and then for a few more years. A few months after, she offered a position for me to become the supervisor para ako na yung mag-take ng mga sub calls. And then she offered another increase of $7 an hour. So you can see, in fairness to her naman, with every additional tasks, she always offers an increase. So I said, okay, fine. So I was given the increase, and then nabuntis ako. I told her about it because there's a need to hire another person that will help cover for the job while I'm away on maternity leave. So yeah, I was taking soup calls all throughout habuntis hanggang sa nanganak ako. At that time, I at $8 per hour. Then I had a 1 month of unpaid maternity leave with her. When I was ready to come back, she asked to meet with me first, and then she gave me the sad news. She said na ang current na mga employees that she has were able to cover the jobs while I was away. So she said, with that in mind, she's thinking of demoting me back into a regular customer service rep lang. So I can also adjust, and also hindi na ako magsusup call. Baka may mga ingay sa bahay, umiiyak yung baby, etc. etc. So my salary was decreased to $6 an hour, and I was just taking regular customer support rep calls. And then a few months later, at may mga nag-resign ng mga ibang reps, she again offered the position back to me as sa supervisory calls, and then offered me the $8 increase again. As you can see, all these back and forths is just made me realize na although the job was very stable, the position is very unstable. There was sometimes passive aggressiveness during our discussions. I remember during the time na tutunog yung Skype ko because of a message, kinakabahan ako lagi. Like, that's how scared I was of her, of this employer. 2019, around October, I finally had the courage to leave. Like, for sure. Kasi I always wanted to look for a non-voice job. Medyo na fed up na ako sa kind of work that I had to always take calls and talk to these clients. And we all know, customer service reps, sometimes these customers can be very degrading, very hurting, very discriminating. So we all also get those kinds of calls. And customer service support reps, one of their main end goals as a customer service rep is to do non-voice jobs. So that was what I was looking for. She, again, just like the usual times that I would say that I'm gonna resign, she would always try to stall me, try to tell me to reevaluate my decisions. But then at that time, I decided I'm done. So the job that I had after her were 2 part-time positions. Medyo malayo sa in-earn ko sa kanya. But then it was a very good leap of faith for me. I never regretted the decision that I had. And I'm so glad that God gave me the courage to finally leave that, I say, toxic job. You see, it took me almost 7 years bago ko siya na let go, because we are breadwinners and we have, in every decisions that we do, marami ang involved. And so, I'm so thankful and I'm so glad that it's finally over. And I'm very happy I was able to do that, because now, not only did I have, lumawak yung pag-iisip ko sa working from home, but also, I was able to land a very good client. And then that time, that's when I realized na hindi naman pala lahat ng clients katulad niya. May iba palang clients na napakabait, iniisip na bigyan ka ng mga bonuses, at iniisip na, they take very highly of you because they think that you are part of the reasons why the company is thriving. So ayun lang, if you are in the position right now where you are exhausted and you feel like quitting because you think that the job is toxic, plan out what your exit is going to be, and find the courage to finally leave.